Hello, Saha. Welcome to today's class. Saha, if you can hear me, could you please raise your hand? Alright, thank you very much for that, Saha. Saha, we're just going to wait 1 minute to see if anyone else arrives into the classroom, and then we will begin with the lesson, alright? We're going to wait 1 minute for anyone else, and then we will begin. Hello, Flavia. Welcome to today's class. Flavia, if you can hear me, could you please raise your hand, Flavia, if you can hear me? Hello, Carlos and Flavia. Carlos and Flavia, if you can hear me, could you please raise your hands for me if you can hear me? Thank you very much for that, Flavia. Flavia, Carlos, can you hear me? If you can, could you please raise your hand? Carlos, can you hear me? Flavia, Carlos, are you there? Carlos, can you hear me? Alright, Flavia and Saha, I don't think Carlos can hear me, but that's fine. We'll continue with the lesson in the meantime. Alright, hello and welcome to today's class. My name is Beth Mahome. I currently live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I like to travel, read books, and spend time with my family and friends. Now, could we please introduce ourselves? Please introduce ourselves. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are, what country you're from, and a few things that you like to do. So tell me who you are, what country you're from, and a few things you like to do. And if you're not talking, could you please turn off your microphone? So just turn your microphone on when you talk and off when you're done talking. Alright, thank you very much. Flavia, you may begin. Flavia, could you please introduce yourself to the class?
Hi teacher, hi everyone. I am Flavia. I'm from Brazil. I live in São Paulo.
Alright, thank you very much for that, Flavia. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you so much for joining us today. Saha, what about you? Could you please introduce yourself? Thank you very much for that, Saha, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us today and for being so patient. I appreciate it. Alright, the topic for today's lesson is talking about the news. That's the topic for today's lesson, talking about the news. What type of news stories interest you? Flavia, can you tell us what types of news stories interest you?
I like news of sports and politics.
Alright. Thank you so much for that, Flavia. So, Flavia, you like sports news and news about politics. It's sports news and news about politics. And what about you, Saha? What kind of news stories interest you? Oh, celebrities. News about celebrities, Saha. News about celebrities. But thank you very much for trying over there. Alright, I actually am very much interested in sports news and politics and celebrity news. Now, match the type of news to each picture. The first picture, Flavia, between the words disasters, sports, crime, and concerts, which word goes with the first picture?
First picture is concerts.
Concerts, yes, you're absolutely correct. Well done, Flavia. And Saha, what about the second picture? Which word goes with the second picture? Yes, you're absolutely right. Crime goes with the second picture. And what about the third picture, Flavia? Which word goes with the third picture?
This picture is sports.
Yes, sports, definitely, well done. Sports goes with the third picture. And the fourth picture, Saha? Disasters. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Well done. Now put the words into groups. Hard news and soft news. Hard news and soft news. Hard news refers to that news which is very, can we say, rather important, more important, and soft news refers to news that is about things that aren't that important. Now, the word concerts, well, news about concerts, is that hard news or soft news, Saha? Yes, you're definitely right, Saha. Concerts are soft news. And Flavia, crime, is that hard news or soft news?
Crime is hard news.
Crime is definitely hard news. Well done. Saha, what about sports? Sports, soft or hard? Yes, you're absolutely correct. Well done, Saha. And the fourth picture, Flavia, disasters. Is that hard news or soft news?
Disasters is hard news.
Disasters is hard news, most definitely. Well done. Now it says, what news stories interest you? Stories about sports interest me. Saha, what news stories interest you? Can you tell us about that? Alright, thank you very much for that, Saha. Yes, I do realize that I've already asked everyone this kind of question. And what news stories don't interest you, Flavia? What news stories don't interest you?
Stories about crime and disasters don't interest me.
Stories about crime and disasters. I think for me, stories that do interest me are definitely, like I said, politics, sports, and celebrity news. And stories that don't interest me, probably stories about my government. I am not too fond of my government. Now it says, how important are these different types of stories to you and in general to people in your country? Sports. Saha, stories about sports, are they very important to people in your country or not so important to people in your country? Alright. Thank you very much for that, Saha. And Saha, can you please tell me, in Saudi Arabia, which are the most popular sports? Alright, thank you very much for that, Saha. Now, Flavia, can you tell me gossip? That really has to do with celebrities. Is that very important to people in your country or not?
What is gossip?
Gossip it relates to mostly celebrity news. So what Angelina Jolie or I don't know,
Okay.
stuff about, celebrities in your country, I guess.
The people in general like stories.
Alright, thank you very much for that, Flavia. Joanna, welcome to our class. Joanna, if you can hear me, could you please raise your hand? Joanna, if you can hear me. Thank you very much, Joanna. Thank you very much, Carlos. Alright, now we are talking about the news. Joanna, can you please introduce yourself to us? Tell us who you are and which country you are from. Alright. Joanna, can you please tell us which country are you from? Brazil. Alright. Thank you very much for that, Joanna. Hello, Carlos. Thank you for joining us. Carlos, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and which country you're from.
Yes, teacher. I am from Brazil too, and I live today on Bahia. It's in Ilhéus City. It's a beach here. Okay.
Alright, thank you very much for that, Carlos. Thank you so much for joining us finally. Alright, now we are talking about how important certain types of stories are to people in our respective countries. Now, Saha, can you please tell me, stories about war, are they very important to people in your country? Thank you very much for that, Saha. And definitely, yes, I think everywhere in the world, stories about news are very important to everyone. Joanna, can you tell me, stories about the economy, are they very important to people in your country? Stories about the economy. Thank you very much for that, Joanna. Yes, stories about the economy are important to, I guess, most people in every single country. Flavia, what about stories about crime? Can you tell me stories about crime? How important are they to people in your country?
People in my country like the most important stories of crime. I don't like stories of crime.
Alright, thank you very much for that. Yes, I definitely agree that crime is a very important topic in every single country. I too personally do not like stories about crime. They make me very sad. Carlos, what about entertainment? Stories about entertainment, how important are they to people? How important are those stories to people in your country?
I think in Brazil we have many important news about entertainment, but to me, I like very much of sport, of economy subjects, and another subject like this, entertainment. It's important when I was in holidays. During the month, I don't look many things about it. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Carlos. Yes, stories about entertainment can be very important. Alright, so now it says, talk about news stories that interest you. Student A, ask Student B what types of news stories interest them and which ones don't. And then Student B, answer Student A's questions and tell them about news stories that is interesting to you. Carlos, you're going to be Student A, and you're going to ask Flavia what types of stories interest her and which ones don't. And then Flavia, you're going to be Student B, and you're going to ask Carlos's questions and then tell him about a news story that is interesting to you. Carlos, you may begin.
Okay.
Carlos, are you there?
Yes.
You
Sorry, the microphone is over.
Okay.
What types of news stories interest to you, Flavia?
Stories about sports and economy, politics interest me.
You read me?
Sorry?
You don't like crimes, subject about crimes, and what is the other one subject you don't like to know about?
I don't like stories about crime and the gossip. I don't like.
Okay.
You need to now tell Carlos about a news story that is interesting to you. Flavia, are you there? Flavia, hello?
Carlos, what? Hello, teacher. Okay.
Hello.
Carlos, what type of news stories interest to you?
Okay. I like types of many subjects of stories, like news of stories, like economy, politicals, technicals, and sports. Okay?
Okay. What type of news stories don't interest you?
Okay, like you, I don't like crimes and a subject about when the people go, I don't know how to speak in English, to take a money of the government, take a money, and for your use, special use, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much to the both of you for that. And Carlos, I appreciate all your efforts. The whole point of these discussions is to help you express yourself. So don't don't worry about when you don't know how to express what you're trying to say, because you know in your head what you want to say, but you don't know how to say it in English and you don't know which words to use. That is perfectly fine. That's why we have the exercises. They are there to help you, right? And please don't worry about me. I'm listening to you the whole time. All right, everyone, I just want to tell you that in my class, I really focus on trying to get everyone to talk to each other, because that's how you learn English. English is a spoken language, and the more you learn to talk to another person and express yourself in English, then the better you will get at speaking English. So please don't worry about making mistakes. That's why I'm here. I'm here to listen to you, and I'm here to help you. And you will notice that I never ever stop you to correct you, because I feel that it's very discouraging if I'm going to stop you every two minutes to say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. So I try not to disrupt you when you're talking, but I am actually on my side listening to you, and I'm taking notes, and later on when you receive your grading, you will definitely receive something from me that tells you that, and I'll write down to you the mistakes that I noticed that you made, and I'll tell you the right way to say something. So when we talk now in class, I try not to disrupt you. Alright? So please feel free to make mistakes. I'm here to help you, and you are here to learn. Now, Joanna, you're going to be student A, and you're going to ask Sahar what types of news stories interest her and which ones don't. And Sahar, you're going to be student B, and you're going to answer Joanna's questions and tell her about a news story that is interesting to you. Alright? Joanna, you may begin. Thank you very much to the both of you for that. Well done, and you did a very good job of trying to express yourself. Which stories interest you? Stories about the economy are important to me, but stories about sports are not. What about you? Sports stories interest me. Yesterday I read an interesting story about. Alright, now it says, ask your classmates, are you generally interested in hard news or soft news? Carlos, can you tell us, are you generally interested in hard news or soft news?
To me, I interest hard news, but sometimes soft news are important too. Okay?
Yes, okay, thank you very much for that, Carlos. And what about you, Flavia? Are you generally interested in hard or soft news?
In general, interest me hard news, but don't crime or disasters. I like economics, politics, and in general, sometimes soft news.
Sometimes soft news. Thank you very much for that, Flavia. Joanna, what about you? Are you generally interested in hard news or soft news? Alright, thank you very much, Joanna. What about you, Sahar? Are you generally interested in hard news or soft news? Now, Carlos, can you tell me, are stories about war important to people in your country?
Celebrities, to me, is more very important. Only if this subject is into more important news, like the politicals, like government, laws of government, okay? Together is important. Of celebrates of music and another thing, I don't think it's important to me, okay?
Alright, thank you very much for that, Carlos. Flavia, can you tell us, are stories about war important in your country?
Yes, many people like stories about war.
Stories about war, alright. Joanna, what do you think? Do you agree with Flavia that people in your country are interested in war news? Alright, thank you very much for that, Joanna. And actually, to some extent, do agree with you that, yes, maybe people in Brazil don't think so much about war because it's never happened happened, so it's not a big factor to happen there. What about you, Saha? Are people in your country very interested about war news? Thank you very much for that, Saha. Alright, now I'm going to need everyone to tell me about what kind of news are people talking about in your country? What are people talking about in your country? What has recently happened that people are talking about in your country? And Carlos, Flavia, and Joanna, I do realize you're all from Brazil, so if you could all just choose one different topic to talk about, one different story from each other. Carlos, can you tell me, what is the most recent thing to happen in your country?
Okay. To the people here in Brazil, the more important subject of kind of news is sport. On the newspaper, we can read something about sport. The TV journal, we can see subjects about sport, and it's very usually.
Alright, thank you very much for that, Carlos. Flavia, what about you? Can you tell me about a recent story in your country that people are talking about?
In my country, Brazil too, the people talking about the sports, feast news, sports, and gossip too. And the people in general don't like news about politics, economic. The people in general like all this news.
Thank you very much for that, Flavia. Joanna, what about you? Can you tell me about something else that has interested the Brazilian public, another source of interesting news going around in your country? Thank you very much for that, Joanna. Saha, what about you? What are people in Saudi Arabia talking about right now? What is news in Saudi Arabia? Thank you very, very much for that, Saha. Alright, everyone, unfortunately, we've actually come to the end of our lesson. I want to say that you all did very, very well in today's lesson. You tried your best to express yourself, and for that I am truly thankful. I'm so happy that you tried your best, because English, again, as I say, is a spoken language, so you will learn more by speaking to other people, reading books, and watching movies, but mostly by speaking to other people in English. Alright, right now I'm going to release the slides for everyone to look at. Please go through the slides, see what you understood, what you didn't understand. If there's anything you want to ask me about what we discussed in class, or anything at all regarding English, need any help, please don't hesitate to email me. Here is my email address, bev.mahome@etteachers.com. That is bev.mahome@etteachers.com. I had a wonderful lesson with everyone. I actually enjoyed hearing about Brazil and Saudi Arabia. I've never been to either countries, so for me, that was very fun to listen to. And I want to encourage everyone, please don't forget to fill out the teacher quality survey at the end. If you thought that I was an excellent teacher, please do not hesitate to say that I was excellent, and please give your overall impression of the lesson. Alright, now one more thing. I want to say, if you want to practice speaking English, because that's something I am definitely passionate about, is helping other people learn English, please feel free to add me on Skype. If you do have Skype, feel free to add me on Skype. Here's my Skype address, beverly.mahome. It's in the chat section, so if you're ever free and you have 2 minutes to spare and you want to practice speaking English, you can always call me at any time and we can practice English. So with that said, I want to say good night. Good night to all of you. I don't know what time it is in Saudi Arabia, but I do know it's night time in Brazil. So I want to say good night or good morning. And thank you so much for joining me in my class today. I had a good time. And please, once again, do not hesitate to email me or Skype me. I will appreciate any one of that. And goodbye. All the way from South Africa, I want to say goodbye, everyone. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me.